Aloha, everybody, and welcome to a special edition from The Flow, live from the Flofa. Thank you, Saeed, for the name of this couch. It's the Flofa. I'm Doc Rock.
And I'm Katie Fawkes.
Oh, my God. I am laughing and ruining my intro. Thank you, Saeed, for that as well. Anyway, today we're doing a really cool mailbag sort of Q&A episode. Yep. So if you have any questions, drop me below. And don't forget, if you're listening to this on your audio podcast or watching this on YouTube podcast for the win, please drop it in the comment section below or go to flow.ecamm.com and we have a place for you to answer questions at any given time. And we'd love to hear from you because we like answering your questions.
Yeah. And if you're brand new, which it looks like at least one of you is brand new hanging out with us, the O Show is here.
The O Show.
So if you're brand new and just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. You can ask questions at any point. So you can ask questions if you're live with us in the chat. We record this show live on YouTube. So you can ask all those questions at that point. Or if, as Doc was saying, if you're listening or watching later, you can still always ask questions. We're real great about jumping back in and answering them. So totally open forum for everyone. And the one thing we really want to say, because otherwise we're just going to ask ourselves questions and answer them.
Yes.
But one thing we wanted to say is if you are new in the world of podcasting or you really just want to level up and get a little bit better at it, we just launched a couple of weeks ago our very own totally free podcast course. And to access that, you need to go over to ecamm.ck.page/podcast. We need to update that link.
But yeah, it works. It works for
right now. That's it for right now. So
screenshot it. Yeah, screenshot it right now.
Screenshot it and grab all of that content so that you can work through that at your own pace and let us know, obviously, if there's anything missing that we can add to it. We're going to keep growing that space as much as people are using it.
And one thing I want to bring up about the course, because, okay, the O Show just installed Ecamm, so maybe they're thinking, oh, what can I do with it? You can use Ecamm to do live streams, of course. That's the name, Ecamm Live. Glenn's not here, so I can say it. If it was up to me, we'd just chop it live and just be Ecamm. Because you can also use it just to look super cute in your Zoom meetings. You can use it to record a course. And so when you see this course, the entire thing was recorded in Ecamm. And the way we set it up, compliments of Marshall and Luis, Mr. Camera Junkie, who's about 4.5 feet that way. We're able to basically start the video, play the logo intro, say what we have to say, play the outro, done. That video kind of doesn't need editing. So if you were thinking about creating a course and you're like, yeah, the editing part's going to drive me nuts. If you do Ecamm right, you won't even need to deal with that. So you have that possibility doing webinars. There's so many myriad things you can do, social media videos. So by all means, jump in and check it out because that way we get to keep our job.
Yeah, we literally gave Luis the day off for the course. We were like, we got it. We gave Luis a recording project, but we did not have to have him do any editing because we were able to do all of the planning up front. And because we kept it really, casual and friendly and authentic as we always do, it really simplified the entire thing. I think I had to re-record one. I think you did too. We had to re-record one time.
Mine was funny because I recorded the whole video on mute, which I've done before. And the last one, I tried to be funny and send Luis a AI version of what I was going to say. And it was hilarious, but I just re-recorded this one for the course because it would sound real funny with my Adrian accent with the AI voice. Speaking of AI, our lovely brother Matt, great seeing you in person, Matt, has a question. What's the best way to make YouTube captions with AI? Descript seems to be the answer that most people say. Okay, so here's the funny thing, Matt. If you want to put captions on the video, you have the script, you have Opus, you have Captions, which is a really cool app. That's what I tend to use. There's a bunch of different ways. If you're just talking about pulling the transcript for the CC, honestly, YouTube does it already, and you don't really have to do much else. The one advantage to Descript is it's easier to edit, but if your main goal is just to have a sort of, what is the word I'm looking for, a VTT or SRT. Those are caption types, basically closed captions. YouTube does it automatically. As a matter of fact, YouTube is probably doing it live right now as we speak. Most of the platforms cover the captioning as you roll. Now, if you want something that looks a little bit more cute, then that's where your Descript and other things would come in.
Yeah. And Matt actually clarified. So
chapters.
Matt was asking about chapters. So I will say this is my job here at the Flow. So I will say what I do is I do use Descript. And I have not found a better tool than Descript for both chapters and for making sure that the captions are as accurate as possible and as up to date as possible, because Descript literally gives it to you as if it's a Google Doc or a Word doc. So what that allows me to do is just quickly scan. I can do like a find and replace all if like Ecamm's spelled wrong or doc's name is spelled wrong, or like there's something I want to catch and quickly correct. So I do like a really quick kind of sweep read through, just make sure everything looks correct. Then I save that as an SRT file for captions for YouTube. And then because again, it's written out and I can read much faster than I can watch an hour-long video, I'm able to just scan through, and Descript gives you all of the minute markers. So I can look down and say like, oh, I see here Doc asked another question out loud. So I can grab that time marker and put that right into YouTube as a chapter. So it's funny because it's actually not AI generated, in that it's not like I'm asking an AI tool to give me the chapters.
Correct.
But it takes almost no time for me to do it. And I actually stand by the decision that it's better to do this one step manually without using AI.
100%.
Because it also reminds me about the content that we talked about in that episode. It gives me great ideas to like, oh, I'm actually going to send like this clip through into Opus, or, you know, maybe we want to dive deeper and turn that into a blog post. It's a good reminder for me because we do the episode. Often I don't have time to rewatch that episode. So it's a good kind of visual reminder. And again, Descriptive just makes it the easiest to, because it basically just gives you the transcript written out really easily with those time markers so that you can just, you know, make whatever tweaks that you need to.
And if you really want a really simple, low budget way to do this, I don't script my shows. Our shows are live. And as you know, we go and we answer questions like this. So right when I'm about to answer your question, I'll put your question on screen using Command K if you're the last comment, or I'll click it. And right after I click it, I hit M on the keyboard. That just places a simple marker in Ecamm. I can look at that text file afterwards. The timestamps are accurate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have M to place a marker using Ecamm, and Shift M if you could actually type Doc fast enough to label it. Yeah. I can't type fast enough to label it, but if you're doing a show and your guest is talking, you could just hit that little Shift M, make your little correction real quick, say what it is, what they're saying. That's good. Another great one for those of us with visual cues. So for instance, if you have your Rodecaster there or Stream Deck, right when you want to make a chapter marker, hit a sound effect on your Rodecaster. When you look at that in your timeline of your editor, you know what that waveform looks like. You just see those spikes where they exist. Yeah. So claps, blinks, change of scene. There are a bunch of different ways to give yourself little cues that you can fix in post. So even if you don't want that marker to live in post, say you were to like hold up a red card, you just make sure that you're silent at that point when you hold it up. And then you just scrub through really close that, you know, like range marker, the hand motion, close it. So that's what I do my recorded videos. And I'm trying to do topics sort of in a bullet form. I say what I got to say. The Rodecaster Pro is an amazing intermediate device for someone who wants really good audio quality. And you can pick one up easily now, used for about $300.
Yeah.
Go like that. And then I go, the Rodecaster Pro 2 is a much better updated version, and let me break down into the reasons why. And what I do is in my editor, I just highlight the part where I raise my hand and close those gaps. So you can give yourself a bunch of different ways to do that, and know that everywhere you put a cut mark, there is a chapter. So yeah, a bunch of different ways to do that, Matt. I hope that squared you up.
Absolutely. Gary's got a great question here. Gary's asking, any thoughts on the Elgato face cam and what model is great out of the box? We're not a big fan of the
Listen, Gary, I just made a recording with it right now because I wanted to see if the Pro model was any better. And I personally don't like to do negative reviews. So I'm going to just end the conversation with that. I'm going to say pass.
I will add to, and we love Elgato for a lot of their products. So I feel good. I feel good about saying this, but for the same amount of money, I get yourself an OBSBot camera. There's so many of them, and we've tried, I think at this point, all of them, and the quality for the size and the cost is unparalleled.
It's unparalleled.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just put it this way. I'm a diehard Celtics fan. They can't play football. So it doesn't matter that they're the world champion basketball team. They cannot play football. Yeah. So round or oblong. Yeah. So skip that one.
And I'm sorry to Saeed.
I had to look to see what he was talking about.
I tried to remove. I added this sticker before I was showing my laptop often on video, and it's one of those ones that doesn't remove easily, and I don't want to wreck the sticker or my computer, so it's just like annoyingly upside down.
And to Rich's point, I do have a sticker on my laptop. It's a giant D brand skin, not sponsored. That's Marquez. I don't do stickers on my computer. No shade. I'm just one of those weirdos. No icons on my desktop, no stickers on my computer, and it must be flawlessly clean at all times. I obsess over the cleanliness of my computer.
We should rename this show Two Virgos Who Think Slightly Differently.
That part of me is very Virgo. Like everything has its place. That's super funny.
I love it.
That's because you're an August Virgo. Y'all are weird.
I'm an August Virgo, yeah. Well, the O Show, we're so happy that you're here, and we hope that we'll see you on some of our other Ecamm streams. There are lots and lots of shows that break down, exactly how to use the app, and then we also do a live demo every other Friday, and there's so many resources in our community. So welcome to the Ecamm fam.
I think we need a name for the Yardbird conversions. Like they should have their own separate badge.
Like Bird Fam, like welcome over Bird Fam.
They flew the nest.
They flew the nest.
The nesters. But we like them, nothing against them, but it's just great to have you on our side now. Yeah. We have a lot of fun over here. I don't know if anybody told you, but we have a blast. The Ecamm fam is totally different from most things on the internet. So welcome Osho to the party. Speaking of birds, hi, Yolanda. I was watching her on her Ravens talk yesterday. She was doing very well. And Yolanda's relatively new to Ecamm, but now she's producing this show and being a guest on other shows. And it was really incredible to just sort of watch her go through the process and learn the software. And now her show is pretty epic. So big ups with that. All right, gang, any more podcast questions? I have one for you, Katie.
Great.
Okay, so for Creators Unstuck, we've been doing a bunch of videos. We kind of started out the gate with almost 10 episodes, but I think we are going to do it seasonally. I have never really done a seasonal podcast. I sort of like just episodic.
Yeah.
Do you prefer seasons or just episodic?
I'm like in a weird hybrid in between with my show. So I think I prefer episodic, but I'm very honest with my audience that there are times where we need to take a hiatus. So like we don't have like a defined season. It's not like, well, this is the end of season 1 and we'll see you in 2 months or whatever. Or like whatever. But we, so last week we were here in town for Creator Camp. And so I was really upfront with my audience that like, hey, we're not going to do an episode for this week, but we're going to be back the following week with so I'm doing a special episode tonight. So I think just honestly, talk to your audience and like whatever makes it work so that you can keep consistent and keep growing and be delivering to your audience is what matters more than the actual format that you choose. Like I have lots of friends who have found a ton of success with seasons. Like they have very defined seasons. They have like a celebratory like end of season episode. They're back and they do another, welcome to season 2
episode. That's the reason for seasons, to have a celebration day. That's it. So we're going to have a flow celebration at 100, but we just got to make up some random celebration days so that way we don't have to have a seasons. I like episodes, and I think you're right, though. As long as you're conversational with your audience and you're giving the people what they really want, it kind of sort of doesn't matter. I'm seeing Matt chime in and awesome wood things, awesome fun things. I'll let Matt, you need to pick a channel, homie. Episodes are my preference. I like when the number gets big. The number resets kind of with seasons.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes, see, that's me. I like the big number, fam. That is actually pretty brilliant, man.
And this is a really great follow-up comment from Saeed, who says, what really is the difference anyway between seasons? Like, don't do it unless there is a
clean break that makes sense.
And Marshall Creates is actually a really great example of this, of the Ecamm shows, because each season, Marshall has like a really defined concept for the season. So like, for example, Marshall Creates is on hiatus right now, but when that show comes back, we're going to be doing an entire, like the first half of that entire season is all focused on Content Launchpad, bringing our winner Liz's show to life. And Marshall's going to be each week planning, designing, working closely with Liz to just work through like all of the branding for her show. So that makes, I agree with you, Saeed. I think that makes it make a little bit more sense. If like you're just using a season for a chance for a break, maybe just taking a shorter hiatus makes more sense than being like, well, end of the season. See you next season for the same old thing.
And Saeed's right. Like, it feels like if the subject doesn't change, then that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay, so then my other question for you is, personally, say for VHS Club, what has been your biggest challenge?
Oh my gosh.
My answer is going to shock you.
What has been my biggest challenge?
If you need time to think, I'll tell you mine while you think.
I don't. I'm trying to like think. I actually have been really, I don't mean this to say this like make anyone feel bad about it, but I think because I've given myself permission to not do it perfectly, and that it like, I don't want to say that it like doesn't matter. It matters deeply to me, but I keep telling myself like, it's okay. Like if I'm not, so in my mind, I think the thing that I worry about the most with the show, so I'll take that as like a challenge, is am I keeping consistent enough with social posts and regular emails and all of that? And I think I am keeping consistent, but I actually had to abandon my OCD-esque Virgo ways,
Virgo
where I was like, hey Nat, every Tuesday we're going to send an email, and we're going to post on Instagram every other day, and I'm going to post, like, I had this like posting schedule, and it wasn't sustainable, because really all I needed to do was, I was already in that mindset for VHS Club like at least once a day. So instead of overthinking it and planning it all out, I'm like, well, at about 3:00 every day when I'm like wrapping up like all of the Ecamm work I do, I spend 15 minutes, think about what I want to say on the VHS Club, post it, and call it a day. And then I'm keeping consistent by just not panicking about it so much.
That. I love that, because I've been on this mission about create ugly videos. Man, it was super funny. I got off the plane and I needed to tell somebody, because literally 13 hours of flying, I was like, I have to lean hard into this make ugly videos thing.
Yeah.
Because I want to give you guys permission to let go and just have fun making videos first.
Yeah.
You guys absolutely know, not a fan of the word burnout, because I think people just overuse it. I'm not saying burnout doesn't exist. I'm not challenging you on your burnout
people
skills.
Use it as an excuse.
I think people use it as an excuse sometimes. And I'm always trying to take away said excuses. So one of the things that I said is, and I even told this to Leslie, I told this to Loria, I said to Adrian, all of us who come out here looking hella fly with our nice studios, I'm like, we have to set the example and put out some ugly videos, because we can't be sitting up in our Buckingham Palace telling y'all to make ugly videos while we look cute in the mug. Well, especially Adrian, he's just naturally cute. But like, our video is on point, our mics are on point, everything looks gorgeous, and we're telling you, oh, it's okay, start with what you got. So like, I'm on purpose trying to go out, use my phone, use smaller cameras that don't have a lot of things. I'm about my Osmo Pocket 3. I'm about my Osmo Action 5, my Insta360 Go. Like, I got lots of cameras. I just want to go create things with that, because I want to give you permission to grab your phone and just make that content. Yeah. And so I appreciate what you say, because one of the things is us overachievers always trying to make everything look cute. We're not making those ugly videos. And I think in times they're like, yeah, you say that because you already look cute. That's like somebody with a Porsche talking about like, you could grow up to be anything you want.
talking about their journey, and you're like, I don't want to know about your journey.
Well, you got to push your car and then like pop the clutch to get it started. Well, if you know how to drive a stick. Anyway, so yes, I think that is a very big one. And that's same for me too, is like learning to let go of the let me just make it look good. And mine is funny, and then I'll get to your question.
Yeah, I'm seeing Tora's question.
Mine is hilarious. We actually have full-on conniption fits on days like today where we're not able to record because I feel like I end up getting, well, I wouldn't call it, we have this thing we call creator constipation. I don't have that, but I'm like, I gotta go. And that pressure of having to go is built up and I want to let it out. So what we
I have that. I panic like a little bit about like when sometimes I need to cancel an episode because like, we've had like some bad luck on the show. Like there's been like weird like power failures and like internet outages. And then a couple times where like both of us are like really sick.
And the skeleton blew in the middle of the street.
It's like a skeleton in the middle of the street. Like stuff like that. And I like feel bad about it. But also you were talking about like burnout. Like also I need to be respectful of the fact that like sometimes like I don't want to push us both and have it be like a really unpleasant experience for us.
Correct.
And for our viewers. But it does like you said, it feels like you're like, oh, I didn't check that box. Like I didn't get that episode out. You feel like it's
for Klimt. I want to steal the word from the church lady. I feel a little, no, what's her name? Linda. Talk amongst yourself. Coffee talk. Yeah, I'm feeling a little for Klimt. So yeah, it's a really weird thing, and I never thought I would feel that way. Like I want to do work and I can't.
Yeah,
and it's driving me batty.
Yeah.
All right, so
Can I answer Tora's?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I want to answer Tora's.
I love this.
All right, so Tora wants to know: is it redundant to put both audio only versions and video version playlists of the podcast on YouTube? Some people refuse to just leave YouTube, which no big deal because it's expensive and complicated to figure out in other platforms, right? So I would say don't worry about the audio only version on YouTube. I don't like, so I...
You know why?
Oh, go ahead. Tell me why.
Because YouTube is the smartest company in the world. It's automatic, homie. So if you do me a favor, go to the flow on the YouTube Music app. Mm-hmm. You're going to just see a picture of me and Katie looking like this.
You can actually watch the video version if you want to, but they automatically give you the
automatically generates the audio feed for you on the YouTube app. And that's different from other podcast apps, but you definitely don't need to make a second playlist. It's done for you automatically by YouTube. Now go ahead and say what you was going to say.
And then the other thing I was going to say is that when you thinking video first, and it's almost exactly what Doc just said, the most of the services will automate grabbing the audio out of it if it's an audio only platform. So I've intentionally used Spotify, which I'm not a giant fan of for a lot of reasons, but I've intentionally used it for the VHS Club so that I understand what not being on Captivate is
That's
like.
so funny you say that.
And it's not great. But the one thing I will say as a benefit to it is that Spotify receives video. And so I can just literally drag and drop in the video that I created in Ecamm. I do no work to take the audio out. I drag and drop the video file directly into Spotify, and that goes out to all of the audio podcast players. So at no point am I ever thinking about audio for my show. It's just automatic. If you're capturing good audio as part of your video,
you go.
Everything else is automatic. So yeah, don't overthink that part. Focus on the video. The rest of it will work out. We promise.
I like the way Keisha formatted her. I hear you, Doc. I'm doing me, letting go of perfection. Mm-hmm. It looks really good in the YouTube icons. I purposely did Libsyn for creators.
I've never used Libsyn
because that way we have podcasts on every place.
Oh, there we go.
We have the YouTube podcast, of course. I have the Captivate, of course.
Yep.
I have Podbean for one of my really old podcasts. I don't even create anymore, but I still leave it there. Mm-hmm. And then now you have Spotify. So we kind of have podcasts in all the myriad places. I think I got to make one more podcast and put it on Buzzsprout feed.
Let me tell you that Spotify though, and I'm saying this in all honesty, it's free and you really get what you pay for. It has zero features. Every time time I'm in there, I'm like, wow, I literally can only drag and drop my video in, add my show notes. And then the only thing that it does is like, do you want to add a poll? That's it. That's the only feature that it has, which I don't think anyone actually uses the polls on Spotify. So yeah.
Yeah. And to Gretchen's point, listen, fam, I know that most of you guys have YouTube Premium because like us, we hate commercials. One of the most underutilized features that comes with YouTube Premium is YouTube Music. YouTube Music is beautiful. It has your podcast, has all the music in the world. The sound quality is incredible. If you have one of those car stereos where you're just still using the app that was built in, I feel like the compression and everything is better on YouTube Music. Like it really does sound good. Matter of fact, Paul and I were driving and we were listening to a song on Apple Music, and then I switched to YouTube Music, and we both like old man panic because the volume was like almost twice as loud. So it's a really good platform.
I use
the
it
podcast side.
obsessively.
We drove from Albany all the way home, straight up YouTube Music, and laughing at John Mulaney. Which is great.
Yeah, I use it for so I pay for the paid service through YouTube so I don't have to get ads, but it also gives us, as you were saying, YouTube Music, and it allows me to listen to every conceivable song, also access all of the podcasts, also access everything that YouTube has to offer. And we have a family account, so it's on, all of our phones, devices, everywhere. But it's nice because it also gives you the benefit of not having ads in YouTube. So for me, it's the same price as any of the other music services, but it has that benefit that it removes those ads. So
correct. So Tora, to your question, so just to confirm, I can take all of my Ecamm recordings and drop them into Spotify. I was going to say Speedify. Love you, Speedify.
Sure can.
I have held all of these for months and I've had to record them all. Me personally, this is exactly what I would do. Take all of the ones that are the video side, upload them to YouTube and place them in a playlist. Once they're placed into the playlist, there is a check box on the playlist to turn it into a podcast. To do that, you're going to give it a podcast title, a podcast description. Don't rush that. That one's very important. And then you're going to need a 3,000 by 3,000 graphic that show off your show. You want to look super cute with that graphic, go to thepodpack.com, THEPODPAK. Why? Because Marshall's better than all of us. Why waste time? Just give it to Marshall. Mm-hmm. Tell Marshall that Ecamm sent you. You're going to get a hell of a discount. I forgot what the coupon was at camp. We won't tell nobody. Just use it. Ask one of your campers. They'll tell you. And listen, because Creators Unstuck, you see all my branding. Marshall did it. The flow, Marshall did it. Like, it's just gorgeous. So anyway, you need that graphic. Now that is a YouTube playlist. That is your full podcast. To get into the other original OG podcast ecosystem, there is Spotify, Captivate, Libsyn, whatever. Personally, I would do it in Captivate or Libsyn, maybe even Buzzsprout. I always want to say Feed. Y'all got to separate these names, homie. But because, I don't know, to me, Spotify, they take liberties with your content. So make sure you read the terms of service. If you don't understand it, send an email to Yolanda. She will tell you that that's probably not the best place for it.
But the short answer, though, is like, it does work. So if you are already using Spotify or whatever platform you're using, just drag and drop those over. You do not need to re-record.
Yes.
You have done that work. So don't stop yourself from being on those platforms. Don't let that get in the way from it.
There is a new premium light, no features, just no ads for $5.99.
There you go.
I would never change mine. It's worth the
I pay
$14 a month I pay for it. I don't even care. I got the whole family up in there. Me and Emma and Baba. And it was funny because she goes to the senior center. She goes, how come when I watch senior center at YouTube, CM audio, that CM is how they say commercial in Japanese. And like she asked me like in Japanese, why are there commercials? I'm like, because we have the commercial free plan. See, I cannot watch over there. It's so dumb. They're showing the good part and the commercial comes up.
Yep.
And I was just laughing. So even the 80-year-old Okinawan lady knows you need YouTube Premium. Mm-hmm. She's the same age as Paul.
All right, our friend the Osho, you should let us know your name so that we can call you by your name. But it says I have a MacBook Pro M1 Max. Is there any limitation using Ecamm Live?
Yes, you need an M6 Max. No, we actually go all the way back to even Intel's. Highly not suggested, but it does work. The only thing that's going to really make a huge difference for you is Ken and Glenn say the number of cores you have on your Macs. So I believe you have an 8-core Max. You should be able to handle 8 guests with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to have more guests than that, you're going to probably need something a little beefier. But you honestly don't want more than 4. It gets a little crazy after 4. We did 4 last night and it was beautiful because Anna and Fulgens know what they're doing. But I be watching people trying to do 8, 10 guests, and I'm like, bro, you ain't even good on camera by yourself. What are you doing? That's way too much. So that's the number one limitation. And just
that's a great you're like,
yeah,
that's a great computer.
Actually, that's what my my Mac Studio is.
Yeah.
So
that's by the way newer than this computer that I'm running this show on right now. I'm still on my 2021 MacBook Pro. So
that's
like the first
M1 MacBook Pro before we got Macs. Yeah. And so we've done entire conferences on the M1 Mac Mini with no problem. So just know if you're trying to send like heavy video and stuff like that, you might bounce, but for the most part, you're gravy. So just go to town. Go to town.
And you're going to want to jump into our community. So if you go ecamm.tv/community, that's a great space to be able to practice, play, push the buttons, do some test broadcasts, share some recordings, let us know what you're up to, and let the fam help you.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud, but and that
get ready.
Talking to Yolanda recently in our group class, yo, fam, y'all got to read these terms of services. We be finding out some stuff that we didn't even know was like legit. And I kind of glazed them before, but now I actually read them because I think they changed it due to pressure. But before, any podcast you posted on Spotify, they own that content. So you got to make sure you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Ecamm absolutely records in 4K.
Yep.
I do it all day, every day, 3 times on Sunday, ever since 2020.
Actually, though, the one thing we should say to you, Iron Pony Life, great name, is that you do need the Pro plan to get 4K recording. So if you are not on the Pro plan, that might be why you're seeing 1080p. Yes. And also, you do need a camera that can record 4K. So part of it is your camera. We will
scale it, but then you're making your computer sweat like nobody's business. Your YouTube will take live streams in what is sort of pseudo 2K. When it's finished, it will turn that into 4K. But yeah, that's a YouTube thing. That's not an Ecamm thing. You can always record your videos in 4K and post them yourself. Pretty much every video on my channel has been 4K since like 2009. So, yeah.
Tora, yes, you can use any of the videos that are our promo videos are available for all affiliates and Ecamm customers to use. We will never issue any kind of cease and desist against you for helping us promote our brand.
No, man, we were talking so much about you at camp, Tora. I hope your ears are burning because you are seriously one of the most lively like newcomers to Ecamm. We absolutely love you to death. And thank you for being an Ecamm affiliate. This gives us an opportunity to remind you folks, listen, y'all know we be over here cooking. Like we cooking like Migos and stir fry. Cyber Weekend will be upon you in like, I want to say just about 30-ish days.
I know, it's coming up.
It's coming up quickly. Yeah. Let's call it 35. You do not have a lot of time to apply to be an Ecamm affiliate and get your plan of action together.
Get your ducks in a row.
I'm going to give you the blueprint, okay? Here's going to be the blueprint. We are going to create our once a year crazy sale. It's going to be new customers only, so don't get it twisted. You're already in. You get the love. That sale is when the most subscriptions are sold. So what you want to do is go check out Justin Brown and Pat Flynn and
Luria and Adrian.
Jeff Benjamin from 9 to 5 Mac and see how they created their why I love Ecamm, why this is the video for me. You want to make that video about week before the sale.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to make short videos talking about the sale during the week of the sale.
Yep.
My first year as an Ecamm affiliate, I covered the cost of most of the equipment in my studio. And I won an Ecamm affiliate contest and got a Rodecaster Pro and the SM7B from Katie. And then they were like, that kid is sick. We should hire him. And then now Katie's like, I effed up. I
regret.
Cancel. Ken and Glenn, can we kick that dude out? But so I went from random user to like hustling affiliate to Ecamm employee. So you never know the journey. You're not getting a job. We're all full. But you can make a lot. You can make a lot. And I can't tell you the answer, but our top affiliate earns over 6 figures. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
So y'all don't sleep on being an affiliate.
Absolutely.
And then you could buy a Mac, Saeed.
Yeah. Let's all fundraise so Saeed gets a Mac so we can switch him over.
Because he's definitely not going to make it with his jokes. All right. Iron Pony said, I'm on a pro plan. I've also noticed that when I have one or more revokers, that's how the internet works.
That's echo cancellation.
That's echo cancellation. But a lot of platforms do that anyway. This is what we just said about the people that be trying to do 50, 1,100 guests. You really only need you and one, maybe you and a third, 4 tops. After that, it becomes hard for your viewer, but you do you. And I have actually watched your show because I was curious about it, and they were talking about doing a ride. It's a motorcycle thing.
Cool.
They were talking about doing a ride, and I forgot from where to where, but it was very interesting. And from what I remember from your show, you were somewhere cold because I'm in Hawaii thinking, that sounds freezing. So I have seen your show. Your show is fantastic. Those little minutia, it's funny. We often panic because of our station. And what do I mean by that? Because we're the independent creators and we're trying to be on the come up and we want to be like broadcast. And I get that. You know what's really funny? You know what happens on broadcast? Exactly what you just said. When people says, oh, but there's a delay. Yeah, this weekend. Hey, we're down here and where's it? Framingham, Farmington? I forgot what that stupid Patriots team plays.
Yeah, now
we're in trouble. Framingham, whatever. They're like, we're going to go down to Michelle on the field. She's going to talk to Belichick. And then Michelle is like, hey, I'm down here with Coach Belichick. The weather looks great. Like, what are you thinking? Oh, we were ready for the secondary. And then we're going to keep an eye on their running game. But I think it ought to be a great game for us. And then we're like, back to the studio to you, Dave.
Yeah, there's always a delay, yeah.
But when you're the independent creator, you're like, oh my God, there's a delay. What do I do? Yeah. They got billions of dollars and they can't solve it. We definitely ain't solving it for $40 a month. Yeah. That's just how it works. And if you can solve it, you will make more money than Zuckerberg. I'm gonna just tell you that.
All right. Well, we are nearing the end of this episode. I'm always the bad guy that has to say that we're at the end of the episode, but also it's been a long week on the other side of camp.
Okay.
Wait, a moment for John.
We need our John sound pack because I want to press the button for the John laugh and we can't do it.
We have... You know what we should do? You know what I'm thinking we should do, Doc? We should do a sound effects contest.
Oh, John wins.
Wouldn't that be fun to like have people send in their sound effects that we could use?
I got it.
I think it would be really fantastic.
Hey, Dan, good to see you. Man, so Flow Riders, thank you guys for always supporting the show, showing up and having the questions. Brandy Joe just showed up. Now I'm going to catch a tear in the eye.
Oh, we miss you
literally
all.
One of the best campers this go around. Yolanda says, I need that sound pack, John.
Yeah, we need John to send in some sounds.
So listen, folks, we do this every Tuesday-ish. As a way basically to give back to you and to help you get your podcast started.
Yep.
So of course, you can reach out to us at flow.ecamm.com to submit any of your questions. There's a voicemail option.
Yep.
You can leave voicemails.
Course at ecamm.ck.page/podcast.
That's a good one. That course is fire. I'm not saying it because we recorded it, but it's good stuff.
And if we're missing anything, just seriously leave us a voicemail or email us flow@ecamm.com, and we're happy to add anything in that we're missing. So
that is correct. Actually, Iron Pony Life, you're in Massachusetts, right? I think you're in Massachusetts, if I remember from watching the show. You let me know, because then I'm going to come to your house, and then you can drive me around in the cold.
Oh, there you go. There you go. We'll send Doc over to help with all of your questions.
Yeah, I'm here for like another 2 days, so you got to hurry up and get it in. Anyway, listen, thank you, everyone. We'll be back next week, and want to give a quick shout out. We've talked about them a couple of times during the show. We want to give a quick shout out to Captivate. Captivate.fm is my favorite platform because they work really hard to help you grow your show. So it isn't just about like, the other platform where you can put your audio and they get spread all over. Of course it does that, but they have the growth tools to help you grow a show. I really like them. I like working with them. And the owner, like myself, hardcore Star Wars fan. What else do you need? What else do you need?
The only reason we support Captivate is because of this, the Star Wars of it all.
Yeah, and what else? I'm missing something.
Yeah, we need to remind you. Oh no, you did this. I think we did this.
What?
We're available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, TuneIn, and all of the other places.
Yes, wherever the podcast getting is got. There you go. Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah.
This we know. So I'm laughing at Luis is still producing.
Luis is producing from the sidelines over
but
here.
He can't even pop the bubble up. All right, Flow Riders. This was another one in the books. Thank you guys so much for always supporting, and do what I said. Sign up for affiliates. Affiliates.ecamm.com. I think I said that right.
You did.
Get in there. Don't be after the sale going, oh man, I had like 10 people ask me what I use. I'm just telling you, don't miss out. All right, gang, you know what it is. Flow Riders out. Royals.
Bye, everyone.